Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Most Epic Adventures. I'm your host, Rob Zip, and today we're having a COVID conversation with my pal, NECROSEXUal, coming all the way from Philadelphia. He's having some computer issues right now, but I decided I was going to go ahead and start the live stream since I have it scheduled at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time here in Texas. He's on the East Coast in Philadelphia, so it's 8 o'clock there. He's doing some stuff. He's having to use a different computer, so we will have him here shortly. I'm not exactly sure which direction he wants to take this interview in. I did do an interview with him on my podcast, The Rob Zip Show, last year sometime, and it was not quite as exciting as it could have been, and that was my fault. So thankfully he has agreed to join me here tonight. Hopefully we'll see him in his corpse paint drinking his Franzia. So we'll have him on the program shortly. We'll get to hear what he wants to talk about. We didn't get to do much pre-production stuff to work out the topics that he would and would not like to go over. So this could be entertaining. He's got a couple other things he's got going on. So we'll see if we can get that going. I am going to go to, so right now I am streaming on my personal Facebook. I want to move away from that, but the way the algorithms work right now, for some reason, that is showing it more than if I just do it on my page, which I am also streaming on the Most Epic Adventures Facebook page. Oh, there's Demu back there in the window. I'm also streaming on YouTube, youtube.com/RobZip. I'm streaming on Periscope for Twitter at Most Epic Show. And I am streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/RobZip. Twitch has been the most interesting of all of the conversations, but we'll see if anybody jumps on. I posted the link in the chat here. I'll post it on my personal timeline as well. So and it is showing up there. Okay, sometimes when people put comments on my personal stream, it doesn't show up. So here, I'll show this. This is for my Twitter. This is the stream. Ronexi5 Waka. That's StreamYard.com. Ronexi5 Waka. That'd be a great band name. Roxam Yaka. It would it looked great on like a death metal shirt like this. I'm wearing a cattle decapitation shirt today. This is actually an electron microscope picture of a cancer cell. But if you look in here, there's some like faces hidden in here. So, yeah, they're bringing back the plague. Bring back the plague! I can't do Travis Ryan's voice. He has a very unique voice. Death Atlas is probably, I mean, they've been around since 1996, and I think this might be their best album, honestly. So if you haven't listened to that and you're into metal, definitely listen to that song, Bring Back the Plague. They released it. They recorded it last year, and nobody knew that this was going to happen. So it's pretty crazy, y'all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go on to my page for the Most Epic Adventures. And so I am going to share this video into all of these different Facebook groups I'm on. So the thing about, come on. Oh, okay. So that's for the group. That's sign in as me. So it's already shared. So that's good. So I'm sharing some of this as The Most Epic Adventures. I'm sharing some as Rob Zip. So if you're watching on one of these groups, please leave a comment and let us know that you're watching us. And if you have any questions, feel free to join the stream. We will have NECROSEXUAL here shortly. He is working out some issues with his computer situation. So I'm just going to share this all over the place. And if any administrators for any of these groups don't like that I'm sharing this, please let me know. Send me a message, or send me a DM or something, or tell me, hey bro, don't post that in this group again. So far it's been cool. So far people have allowed me to post the video in the stream. So we'll see what happens here. Oh, here he is. It's the NECROSEXUAL. Welcome.
What's up, baby? How the hell are you?
Oh, I can. There you go. I couldn't hear you for a second. I was like, oh shit, where's the audio?
Well, that would have been totally cults to have terrible fidelity with the production and the sound quality.
All right. Absolutely. You got to keep it cult.
Totally.
KVLT.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you drinking the Franzia?
You know what? Franzia and I had a disharmonious falling out. So I'm now rocking the Boda box. Unfortunately, Franzia, after many, many years of courting them and trying to be the face of their company, trying to be their poster boy, really putting their brand out there at the risk of my own professional reputation, they have kicked me to the curb, turned a cold shoulder to me, and they also put arsenic in their wine. So I'm rocking the Boda box. It's also served in an environmentally sustainable box. So,
all right.
Yeah, new beginnings, baby. Same old heavy metal hangover.
Same hangover, maybe less with the less arsenic, right?
Maybe it's it's like there are different flavors to every type of heavy metal hangover. So just like every wine has its own varietal and flavor profile, there's definitely a hangover profile of the type of box wine that you punish yourself with.
And so okay, so you had to break it up with Franzia, so you moved to the Boda box.
Yeah.
How many different box wine companies are there?
Really, I only know a couple. I do consider myself to be a box wine connoisseur if the box wine is Franzia or now Boda. But those are the main ones. There's a couple others that I see sometimes. Boda also has a brand called Nighthawk, which is like the witchy version of their Boda box. So sometimes I'll have that. It reminds me of the band Heavy Temple because their front woman is named Nighthawk. So that's kind of a joke. But the Franzia and Boda, those are the big ones. There might be a couple more, but I'm drawing a blank.
Nice. Well, how much of that do you think you're going to get through tonight?
Maybe all of it. We'll see.
We'll see. So I see you're wearing your own shirt.
Yes.
Can we NECROSEXUAL? We can't see the rest of it. That's okay. Well, let me pull up. Let me guess. You're on the Bandcamp, right?
Yeah, it's definitely on Bandcamp. I think there's only like one or two of these shirts left. They're the very first edition prints, and they've almost entirely sold out. So these are a hot item if you get one.
I'm gonna go ahead and show your Bandcamp now. So while I'm doing this, people are tuning in and like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
So why don't you here, I'll take this off for now.
Yeah, who the fuck is that band? Oh, it's mine.
Yeah. So who am I talking to tonight? I know your name. I know who you are.
Yes.
But people watching might not know.
I hope you do. At this point. So it's the NECROSEXUAL. I'm the most electrifying man in corpse entertainment, the heavy metal hellraiser, the headbanger who lives for the danger, the slayer of posers, the grim one, master of disaster, the Joan Rivers of black metal. And I've been firing on all fronts of NECROSEXUAL world Domination since 2011. I also interview a lot of bands. I produce my own music as the band leader of the NECROSEXUAL band. And I'm more or less a Renaissance ghoul and a jack off of all trades. So there's always something going on in the horror business.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, you have so much going on for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your band.
Yes.
Your band that's named after you.
Yeah.
Which is fine, you're you as you said, the most electrifying entertainer in corpse paint, right?
The most
something like
that, yeah.
Something like that. Something along those lines.
Yes.
So your band, I noticed that you guys had signed up this year to be on the Vakken Metal Battle.
Yeah. That's where the story starts and finishes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you guys even play the battle or no?
We did not. No. We were too loud for the crowd. So
you were too loud for the crowd. Okay.
Everybody's playing that battle now. So have fun, kids.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The battle got canceled. The Vakken got canceled.
Yeah.
So there's always next year, right?
Yeah. There's always next year, but yeah. So.
Uh-oh. I'm losing you. I'm losing you there. Yeah. Okay. I think you're back. I think you're back.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah.
This is not the first time my extremity has crashed the internet from the heaviness that I bring. The bandwidth just can't handle
it. Fair enough, dude. So the band, I guess every band right now is in some sort of hiatus.
Yeah. Hiatus.
Yeah. Right. So what are you doing to keep busy and keep safe?
Yeah, so several things. Today I've been all day. If I turn on the mood lighting here, if you see, I got my axes behind me, and there we go. You see some guitars. That's it. But off you go. I got to keep it cold here with cold lighting. But all day today I've been recording bass lines in the comfort and desolation of my own musical lair for my NECROSEXUAL bandmate member, Ryan Dreadrod, who's also one hell of a spastic guitarist and drummer. So we've got a little quarantine sort of death metal grindcore filthy fucking project going on. And it'll probably be making its internet debut real soon, like tomorrow real soon. So that's what I've been occupying myself with today. One session to learn 5 or 6, 7 songs in one day and one night. So I have, I think, 2 more to go tonight. So that's what's been going on this one day in particular. So that's been super fun. And I've also launched my own video podcast series called One on One with the Grim One. We just had our first episode with, not our first episode, but our most recent episode featured me talking to legendary bass player Dan Lilker. So that's on my YouTube channel. And I'll be probably dropping about one of those a week. I already have a couple that have been recorded that I just need to edit and put the finishing touches on. And on that format, it's been really cool because I've been interviewing people since 2011, 2012. And usually it was something that I would go to a concert if a band was in town and I had to maybe sometimes have a camera crew or making contact with the band, see if they had time. And in a way, with this whole fucking state of the world being that it is, it's been helpful for me because I've been able to hit the ground and finally push this one project that I've wanted to do for a while, which is more of a long-term podcast. And people are a lot more accessible because everybody else is sitting at home. So you don't need to worry. In my case, I don't need to worry about traveling with gear to a venue or working myself around like touring schedules. So the first talk we had, it's on my YouTube right now. It's a nice 40-minute chat with Dan Lilker, a legendary bass player who is a hero of mine.
Boom, here it is.
There it is, baby. Brian Sow, he's another one right next to Dan. He was on Beat Bobby Flay. He's a hell of a chef and also a great guitarist. And this concept of one-on-one with the Grim One is each guest that I have selects one album.
Michael Thor down here.
Yeah, that was last May. Wow, seems like an eternity ago. But yeah, I opened for John Michael Thor and also got to interview him. So that was pretty fucking metal. And with this new one-on-one with the Grim One podcast, my guest selects one album that they have holds a special place in their hearts. and we talk about it. So it's a really fun kind of long form way to get to know my guest a little bit better. And
Nice.
yeah. And in Dan Loker's case, we talked about Dark Throne, A Blaze in the Northern Sky, which was super appropriate.
Yeah.
It's an album that launched, an entire generation of black metal bands and many imitators. But so it's been super fun, and I'm definitely going to have some more of those coming up. I have a couple big names lined up in the near future.
So I'm going to fast forward through it here.
Yeah, he dropped some serious knowledge. Check it out.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, obviously we're not going to check it out now, but this is this is what to look forward to here.
Yeah,
very nice. I just subscribed to you. I don't know I don't know why the fuck I wasn't subscribed to you already, man.
I've been doing it since 2012. So there's a whole gold mine of necrosexual entertainment on my YouTube channel. So you can really watch it from the very beginning. And I've interviewed, in addition to my music and bullshit like that, I have interviewed and had talks with a lot of great musicians. Millie Petroza from Creator, Gary Holt from Exodus, Abath, just a couple of them. John Michael Thar, like you saw. So, and that's also fun.
So as an interviewer, so I'm an interviewer asking an interviewer about interviewing.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of stuff with Metal Injection, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get hooked up with those guys?
I just showed up at their door one day and they couldn't get rid of me.
Okay, fair enough.
Now they're cool dudes. I come from a journalism background. I studied the dark arts of journalism, and in a way, necrosexual endeavors has been
fake news.
Yeah, not even. This is totally true journalism, hard-hitting journalism. So I learned that, and in a lot of ways, I've been using my degree to the best of use, doing these necrosexual interviews and editing and everything like that. And so I sent them one of my first videos that and we just stayed in touch ever since.
That's nice, dude. Because you've done a lot of interviews.
Yeah,
you've done a lot of interviews for them.
Yeah, the thing about the metal world is everybody is pretty down to earth and relatively accessible. Most people have Twitters or Facebook, or it's not super hard to get in touch with people. So it's especially with metal websites, they're always looking for fucking videos of like cats or kids playing, some 12-year-old kid shredding a Dragon Force song better than I ever will. So
right.
Yeah.
So out of all the people you've interviewed, be it in your own podcast or through Metal Injection, who did you enjoy interviewing the most?
Yeah, that's a good question. The Dan Loker interview, even though it wasn't face to face, that was something I've been a huge fan of his ever since I was a teenage necrosexual when I was like 14 years old. Mm-hmm. Almost every band he's played in, I'm a huge fan of. Brutal Truth, Nuclear Assault, Stormtroopers of Death. So that was, a dream come true, a dangerous meeting that's been, years in the to-do list. So that was super cool. And he was, as I suspected, super friendly, down-to-earth guy with a lot of knowledge to drop. Also, Millie Petroza from Creator. I'm a huge Creator fan, so that was probably like one of the most of a fan I've been to interview somebody, and he was totally cool. A lot of the people I talk to, they don't get the joke, or they're just put off, or they can't tell. They think I'm making fun of them or something, which is not. I'm just there to entertain people, and if anything, make fun of myself in the process. But some people don't get it, or they're just not into it. But Mille was super cool and gracious and had a good sense of humor. And Abath was also good, even though it was he was also didn't know what to make of me. And he actually walked out the first time. So it was before the show, and I was like, this is a man who's so grim and frostbitten, he makes my nipples hard. And he was like, I'm sorry, I need to stop. And he walked out. And I was like, fuck. And then he was like, and then he was like, well, come back after the show. I'll be in a better mood. And he was. So then he was cool. So that was super fun to talk to Abath. He's a super crazy dude. Not crazy, but he's definitely marches to his own blast beat. And it was fun to hang out with him and hear him just go off for like 40 minutes after a show.
So I guess this was before Rehab.
This is in 2016.
Okay. So how, was he thrown off by your corpse paint? Was it like corpse paint on corpse paint, like just too much darkness in one room, like a black hole of metal?
Most interviewers from that I've seen don't show up in corpse paint and don't normally do it as theatrical as I do, and maybe he thought that I was mocking him. You know, they very rarely. I don't think that they don't. Even though I have plenty of like references and videos that I'll send to kind of give them a heads up. They don't. They're just busy dudes. So, but it all worked out. And the second time he was super cool, and we had a grand old time. Nobody got stabbed.
Nobody.
You never know with those Norwegians, but yeah, it was a good time.
Were you on your way to kill Euronymous also?
I was on my way to kill Varg, I think.
Oh, there you go. Nice. That's a lot better, dude. That's
better. Or at least I don't want to espouse any more violence, but at least give him a wedgie because he's a fucking dork and a hack.
That's to be very polite.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
He's the worst. He's the worst. I was talking to somebody. Yeah, we were actually talking about him yesterday when I was talking to a local band called Scrollkeeper. And yeah, I just think Burzum are boring as fuck.
Yeah. Their music never really did anything for me. And on top of that, he seems like a just fucking piece of garbage and a murderer, you know?
Right. So, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
That's not metal to kill your friends, right?
That's one thing that we were talking about with Danny Loker the other day in our video because it was about Dark Throne.
Right.
And part of the reason why they were so badass is they didn't burn churches. They didn't really do any shady bullshit. They might have said a couple stupid things in like interviews or something early on in their careers, but they pretty much stuck to their guns. And at the end of the day, they're just two dudes that love making fucking metal, and they're not just obsessed with only the cultist and the rawest music. They like punk, they like speed metal, they like traditional heavy metal. And I think that's why they're so badass, and that's why so many bands try to rip them off but fail because to them they're just being authentic and true to themselves, and they don't have to. There's no sensationalism, satanic panic bullshit that comes with it. So I think that's why a band like Burzum in comparison just is pretty underwhelming.
One of the funniest things like in the metal world I've seen is the picture of Fenriz holding his cat saying, "Please don't vote for me." Yeah. And he still got elected anyway.
Oh, what did he run for office for?
No, I don't even think he ran. I think he was placed on the ballot for it was just like a council, like his local council.
Yeah.
His town council. And he was just like, I don't want to do this. And they elected him anyway.
Yeah. The mayor of metal.
Yeah, sure. So geez, man, do you have any big interviews coming up?
We got a couple. I'm not going to announce them yet just because I don't want to jinx myself, but they'll definitely be with this new quarantine format. I have a couple that are in the bag already. Well, I'll tell you some other ones that I can say because they've been edited and I have the footage. So unless something goes egregiously wrong and there's some sort of catastrophic data loss on my end or just human error, I spoke with a great band, Larkon from Scumstrike. They're from Montreal. And I I reviewed their album at Metal Injection a few weeks ago. It's called Scumstrike is the name of the band. The album is called Execution Void, and they're really filthy kind of black metal crossover punks from Montreal. So I'm looking forward to sharing that video with the world because we talk about Fate's Warning.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Fate's Warning. I haven't heard them in a long time.
Yeah, it was a band that's been on my radar for a long, long time, and I was really overdue to give them a proper listen, and I enjoyed it. It was good. I'm still humming those songs.
I want to say Fate's Warning may be from my town.
Hartford.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm completely off then. Yeah, they're from Hartford. Yeah, they're from Hartford. I'm not from Hartford.
Yeah, where are you from? The Midwest somewhere?
No, I'm from Houston.
Oh, okay.
God, there was a band. Maybe it was there was a metal band along those lines from Houston. I can't think of who the fuck they were.
Yeah.
A progressive.
Not King's X, right?
Oh, King's X are from Houston. But
okay.
That's not even who I'm thinking. That's not who I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm thinking of like Galactic Cowboys or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Were they Prague?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. That's who I'm thinking of. Galactic Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, King's X, Galactic Cowboys, Hellstar are from here. They're still around.
Mm.
You ever listen to Hellstar? James Rivera?
No.
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. It's the same lines. You know, he's got a real Dio-esque voice.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's rare.
So, Yeah, and like I said, he's been doing it since the '80s, and he's still going.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah, I really didn't know much about them other than just their name.
Yeah, yeah, man, they've been around. I don't know if they travel a lot anymore, but well, nobody's traveling right now,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Right. So, shit, man, did you have a lot of gigs and shit like get canceled?
I did.
Because of it?
Yeah, a fair amount. I mean, it sucked. I was pretty bummed for about 2 weeks or so, and then the acceptance just comes in, and at the end of the day, it's like, oh well, I just have to stay at home, and now I'm just surrounded by like my guitars and all the things I wanted to do and put off because I didn't have enough time, and now I'm just
Right.
like, so yeah, I'm trying to just be as productive as possible. I got a couple quarantine like jam projects like the one I'm working on tonight.
Mhm.
I was planning on going to New England for the first time to play Massachusetts at Ralph's Rock Diner at the end of May or March rather. That's obviously scrapped, and a couple other shows were scrapped. So it is what it is. If anything, I'm a little bit bummed because I was in the middle of recording a new album and I just had to do like vocal tracks and a couple of guitar tracks, and now that's been kind of indefinitely postponed. But again, it's just one of those things. It could be a lot worse. And now that I've been able to kind of record, I've been a little bit more familiar with recording at my home studio or home studio, my laptop with
Whatever. Yeah.
my digital interface and my orange practice amplifier. So now maybe I might patch in some of those parts, or it's all it won't take. It'll probably be done in one more session or one or two more sessions. So that's not a huge thing. So it just is what it is at this point.
Yeah, it is what it is. I know here in Texas, our governor is basically like, yeah, we're pretty much going to be open for business now. Everybody just go ahead and kill yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, the people are going to be dying, but that economy is going to be thriving, baby.
Yeah.
So
Right, exactly. I mean, well, even like our lieutenant governor was like, we need to sacrifice some of our people for the benefit of our economy.
Yeah, pretty insane how just fucking.
So it's insane.
Yeah.
It's really insane. You see all these people like protesting, like we want our haircuts. I'm like, just get a fucking hat. I mean,
Yeah. Right. I know. Of all the things to be protesting over, they're just basically ready to become more exploited by their oppressor class, by a ruling class of capitalists. So
right.
Yeah, there's a lot. And it's just weird times we're living in, but at the same time, just trying to channel the time I do have to be socially responsible and stay inside and not have to interact with people. So it is kind of like an introvert's paradise. But yeah, I enjoy performing and nightlife and getting out there. So yeah, it's a weird time.
So when you do go out again, or are you going to wear any kind of protection, or are you going to just kind of risk it?
I have face masks, some pretty styling and profiling face masks that match my corpse paint. So I'll be on brand. I'm just kind of following whatever the government guidelines are. And in Pennsylvania, hit a little bit, especially me. I mean, I live in Philadelphia, so I think cities especially near New York and Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and in major metropolitan areas, they're definitely hit a lot harder. So I think that it'll be a slower rate of reopening. So I still we might not be opening quite as quickly as in your state. But yeah, I'm just kind of playing it by ear and taking it, cautiously. Obviously, it'd be great to not have to walk out of my house without a mask on. But these are the times we're living in. So what do you do, right?
Yeah, what do you do?
Even if it doesn't kill me, it sounds pretty unpleasant to have.
Right.
So I'm still trying to avoid having violent pneumonia or thinking that I'm going to die.
Yeah, I mean, and you never know. Like, there are people that are dying that are like, oh, I'm fine. Or like all these pastors. That's been the most humorous part for me is all these pastors telling their congregation to keep coming to church. We need you to still come, and then they're dying left and right because
Yeah, what a shame.
it's like they just don't want their money to stop coming in. Oh, speaking of money, so this is a thing. I don't know. So if you're watching this on Facebook, my friend. So I'm friends with a polka dude named Alex Meixner.
Cool.
Yesterday he did a 2-hour concert in his living room, and he's been doing this almost every day, it seems like. But he did this 2-hour concert in his living room, and he was showing off his merchandise, and he's like, he had links to all of his stores in the comment, and then there was a thing on there, and this was on Facebook, where you can send stars. So it's like you pay Facebook for, like, I paid $50 for 3,000 stars. And when you're watching a live stream, it's kind of like tipping a cam girl. You know what I mean?
But you have to use Facebook as a middleman so they get their cut.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've seen like burlesque and go-go dancers do that. They'll have like virtual burlesque sets or go-go sets, and then they just put their PayPal or Venmo thing. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely people are getting creative with that. With me, luckily, I'm not super. I'm fortunate that I'm not feeling the crunch too bad, and I know that everyone's, feeling some sort of financial. Most people are probably either out of work or working less, or it's just pretty much the economy and life is grinded to a halt for most people. So, and likewise, there's a lot of bands that are asking for donations and support. So I'm trying not to do that just because other people could probably use it more. So
fair enough.
But yeah, at the same time, like people, burlesque performers or go-go dancers or musicians, like in my case, it's nice to play with a band. Like NECROSEXUAL as a one-man project musically isn't quite like as captivating as when you have a full band behind you. So I don't think I'm going to do like a one-man acoustic unplugged performance or anything of that sort. But I think for like something like polka, if you're able to, like totally, by all means, make that money, honey. Yeah.
Yeah. He was playing accordion and singing. That's mostly what he did. And then every once in a while he'll pull out the trumpet. He plays the trumpet as well.
Yes.
So Alex is great. I want to have him on here at some point. But I'll mention that because I think it's interesting. And if you are watching on Facebook and that is an option to throw some stars my way, I will donate whatever is sent my way to a charity. I don't know what charity, the Panda Rescue or something. I don't know.
You're asking me what?
Yeah. Do you have a preferred charity that you?
Yeah, give this man your money. It'll go to a good place. Right?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, if you see that, I'm curious. I'm just curious if that is actually something that's showing up.
Yeah.
On my live streams or not.
I did do a fundraiser for the Children's Cancer Association, and that seemed like it had a very high ranking on Charity Navigator. So in terms of nonprofits, in terms of your money actually going directly to the source and not just the CEO, that was a company that seemed like they were a good fit because I did a little bit of research and checked it out. And their whole thing is they prescribe joy. So it's not really based on finding a cure. It's just based on like kids that have cancer. They'll do like events, like recreational stuff, music stuff. Yeah. Just a way to brighten people's lives. So that's something that can help improve somebody's quality of life regardless of the prognosis. So that's one off the top of my head. And that's all I got.
Right on. Well, let's take a look at your Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Let's run through this.
Yeah, all my music it's available at Name Your Own Price. So that's something that, again, I think that with just the fucking state of the world being a flaming trash fire, it's important to get through life with music. And music is something that helps people deal with all sorts of shit. So all of my music is available at Name Your Own Price, which can be $0. So it's out there. Definitely check it out. It's on Spotify too, but it's also on Bandcamp. So to all you perverts that are watching at home who don't want to make a financial commitment, you can do it for $0 and listen to some NECROSEXUAL jams.
The Gory Hole in F sharp.
Yes. F sharp is the proper key to summon the darkness.
And here's the shirt. This is a shirt you're wearing right now.
Different one, but yeah, okay. We have a couple of those left too. This one's actually so cult and it's so limited. It's not even on Bandcamp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here's the the grim one.
Yes. I mean, the album cover alone is worth paying, $0 to download.
Who drew this?
That was done by
Scott Johnston.
Scott Johnston, a great dude. He's a true patron and supporter of the arts. He is also involved in a really cool band called the Roddenberries that do like Star Trek. They're like a Star Trek rock band. So
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's also involved in the Philadelphia burlesque and cabaret community. He does like a big free. He's just one of the only free festivals, free burlesque festivals every September in Philadelphia up until maybe this year coming up. So yeah, he's a great dude, and he supports the arts, and likewise, he was super generous with that artwork, and grateful to have him in my life. Check him out, Scott R. Johnston.
There's some videos promoting your album and stuff.
It's out there, baby.
Very nice, dude.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
like I said, we have a 3-song EP or possibly a split, depending on what the other band, if they're able to finish their end of things. I haven't really caught up with them in a while, so I don't want to speak prematurely to their commitment or lack of, but I have 3 songs that are in various states of completion. So whenever I'm pretty much clear to go back in the studio, that'll be hopefully released in the next year, maybe by the summer. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
Yeah,
I hope so.
The hard part's already laid down. It's just vocals and a couple guitar solos and mixing and mastering that's left. So most of it is done. If
not, you can just slowly build your own little home studio, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've already started to do that. So it's amazing what you can do. Again, I mean, the silver lining with all this fucking mess of the world right now is that it's kind of forced me to be more reliant on myself, and a lot of projects that I had put off, I'm able to, a lot of the projects that I had put off or had been on my list of things to do, I'm finally doing. So recording from my own home, doing podcasts and video podcasts from my own home. So yeah, that's been a little bit empowering.
Now you have a friend that has a band, right?
I have several friends that have bands.
Well, I'm thinking about Basilisk.
Yes, I'm also involved in Basilisk, and likewise, their drummer Mike is also the dude that drums the NECROSEXUAL on my 2 albums. So, one hand washes the other.
So tell me about that band.
That's a sick band. Definitely check that out. We have an album called Emergence, also on Bandcamp, also on Name Your Own Price. So you can name your own price or pay $0 to download it all. And it is death metal, but also has black metal and thrash metal influences. And I think that we do a good job of. We certainly have our classic influences, but we strive to sound unique and have our own spin on things, which is important because there's a lot of death metal bands that kind of sound like the same, or they kind of sound like you can tell that they're paying homage to their influences, but there's really not much there aside from that. So one of the things that always stood out to me about metal and thrash metal, death metal, black metal, even grindcore, it was innovative. It found a way to pay homage to the masters and propel the genre into the future. And so that's something that I try to do in any musical project. It's even if it's old school, I'm certainly have my roots, but I also try to find my new way to put a different spin on it and propel it in the future in a way people haven't heard before.
I love this, your demo tape here.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. But, I mean, that's on the other end. You can see the artwork for Emergence and the T-shirt. So that's all designed by Basilisk, their frontman Josh. He did the layout, the logo, the album cover, the entire CD design. So he's a super talented artist. And then the Gory Hole, he also did the CD layout for the Gory Hole Overture in F Sharp by NECROSEXUAL. So yeah, we help each other out. It's a good crew of people to be involved in. And one way or another, we'll be back with a vengeance whenever it's free to move around and begin playing shows and recording again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nobody knows when that's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to come out gradually in phases. It might be a long time between, before we're able to do concerts as we know it and sporting events and major things. But, if you can at least get together to record or do something, small groups of 10 people or less, that's the first step. And then from there, I think that small shows, maybe house parties, bar shows, and stuff like that, those will probably be hopefully the first. Smaller, more intimate gatherings will probably be the first things to come back. I hope. So that kind of lends itself to smaller underground bands like us.
It's hard. It's kind of hard to go to a bar and drink a beer and wear a face mask.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see. Things are the world's being turned up on its head, and I just hope that it gives people a chance to kind of reevaluate their lives and look in themselves, find a light in the darkness, and maybe come out of it a more intelligent species than we were going into it, or at least with some better riffs.
Yeah, with some better riffs for sure. There you go.
Right.
Well, shit, dude. What else do you want to talk about? Let's talk about something random.
Okay.
Are you? Do you have any weird hobbies that we haven't mentioned?
I don't know if it's weird. I like playing chess. That's something that I do. So if anybody
very intellectual.
Yeah, that's fun. I haven't really been playing it as much as you would think during this whole quarantine period, but I am on chess.com. But yeah, I feel like the weirdest, not really hobby, but the weirdest thing I do is what you're looking at now. So if anything, I probably need more hobbies. That's one of the things as an artist. It's easy to get your life in a state of unbalanced because you just get so caught up in the grind that your personal life sometimes can suffer, because people are like workaholics, so they're always got to do another project, got to do another show, another record, you got to do their craft. And so that's something that I've also dealt with. It can be exhausting to be in corpse entertainment. So you have to balance the grimness with some recreations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on. Do you have any tips for me? Any advice on getting those big name interviews? I mean, you are a big name. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, bigger names. I think you just keep doing what you're doing. You have some great guests lined up. I see you have the War Cloud people. They're good people.
Yeah.
And having a web presence, having a YouTube. They're just simple things, man. Like being able to write a clear, concise email. Having all your links, spelling everything out clearly, so you just don't come off like an amateur. That goes a long way. And if anything, I think people are going to be more accessible now than they were before. So
yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah,
absolutely true.
You have a YouTube channel, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've got. Let me see. How many subscribers do I have right now? I have 5.73 thousand subscribers.
It's good. Yeah, that's real good.
Yeah. So another thing I noticed is that like about half of the people that watch the videos aren't subscribers. So if you are watching this and you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button now, please, and give this video a thumbs up. Yeah. I hate having to say that though.
Yeah, throw your stars to this man and subscribe.
Yeah. If you're on Facebook, throw me some stars. If you're on YouTube, if you are watching this not live, if you're watching this down the line and you have a question for Necrosexual, leave that question here and hopefully he'll see it.
Yeah, we'll send messenger pigeons or something.
Yeah, he'll be able to answer your question later.
Yes. So, and likewise, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. So if you have any questions, any necrosexual encounters that you crave in the vast void that is cyberspace, I'll be around. So just send your message.
Nice. Well, Necrosexual, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you, baby.
I appreciate your time. I appreciate you taking time away from your quarantine partner there.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to the Rift Dungeon and finish cranking out these death metal grindcore songs, and they might be available online for mass consumption as early as tomorrow. We'll see.
Nice. Well, I'll be looking out for him, dude.
Cool.
I'll be looking out for him, and I'll share it. I'll share that shit.
Hell yeah.
Nice. All right, dude. Well, I'll let you go. I got to do a little bit of housekeeping at the end here.
Yes.
But I will talk to you later. Thanks so much.
Right. Stay clean. Bye bye.
All right. That was Necrosexual, everybody. Like we said, he's all over the internet. So make sure to follow him. And like I said, if you're watching this on Facebook, if the stars option is there, throw some stars. If you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. Comment and a thumbs up are almost the same. There is no live stream tomorrow, so just keep that in mind. I will not be doing this tomorrow. He mentioned I was going to be talking to some of the War Cloud guys, so on Wednesday, the 29th, I will be talking to Nick Burks. He's in Stonecutters and War Cloud, and he was talking about getting Alex on as well, so from War Cloud. So hopefully we'll have both of those on Wednesday. On Thursday, I am going to try to bring you the Zip and Ocho Hour if Ocho's internet connection is decent. On Friday, May 1st, I'm going to be talking to Kevin Cole from the Turbo ECs. He's going to be joining me from his pizza shop in the beach in Puerto Rico, so that's exciting. That's going to be at 5 o'clock my time. It's a little earlier because he's on the East Coast, or maybe I think Puerto Rico's the East Coast time. Saturday the 2nd, I'm going to be talking to my friend Charlie. He's in a band called Steadfast. And nothing so far on the 3rd. On May the 4th, Star Wars Day, I'm going to be talking to Ozzy Zion Nelson. He's in a lot of projects, but he's a cool guy, and he's got a lot going on. So it's interesting to hear. It'd be interesting to hear his perspective. I was a sponsor for his birthday party he had called Ozfest back in Austin back in like September. So that was awesome. And my cat's tearing up shit. So thanks so much for watching. I'll be back on Wednesday with Nick Burks. So join me then. And as my friend Kendrick says, stay beautifully brutal.